Hi everyone, and welcome to this first video of the Not So Berry Challenge. Today we're kicking off this new challenge with our main character Mentha and her little dog Piper in the neighborhood of Oasis Springs. As I'm sure most of you know, the first generation of the Not So Berry Challenge is all about the mint color, and the first name that came to mind was Mentha, kind of inspired by the name Martha, but with a minty twist. And then there's Piper, because it reminded me of peppermint. I hope you like the names. I honestly didn't want to go with anything too basic. All right, guys, let's get started with a quick recap of the rules for this first generation. First things first, we need to reach level 10 of the scientist career. We also have to become a master of mischief by maxing out the mischief skill to level 10. On top of that, as we complete the career, we'll also need to reach level 10 in the logic skill. And finally, we have to complete the elements collection by sending any metals and crystals we find to the Geo Council as we go. To get to know the neighborhood, Mentha and Piper went out for a little stroll and ran into a few locals. After a quick hi and hello, Mentha wasted no time and jumped straight into some mischievous interactions. Because hey, that mischief skill isn't gonna level itself up. After making her way to the food stall near her house, which had just opened by the way, Mentha wasted no time and went full chaos mode. She started picking on the poor vendor, trash-talking the quality of the food like she was a world-class critic on a mission. And as if that wasn't dramatic enough, she turned her attention to an innocent little girl, probably just there to eat her sandwich in peace, and hit her with insults and mockery like a true mischief queen. After insulting basically the entire neighborhood, what better way to wrap things up than ordering a fish taco? Completely forgetting she's a vegetarian. And of course, once the guilt of eating an innocent little fish kicked in, she took out all her rage on the same poor child she had already bullied earlier. Once she got back home, Mentha sat down for a game of chess to work on her logic skill, while also trying to make a new scientific breakthrough, which she needs to land that first promotion at work. Yeah, she really shouldn't have eaten that taco. Before heading to bed, Mentha decided to do a bit of trolling on the forums and managed to reach level 2 in the mischief skill. Then Piper showed up, interrupting her serial insulting session on social media, so she paused to fill her food bowl. After making sure everything in the house was in order, Mentha finally called it a night. Because the next morning, she'd be starting her very first day as a scientist at the Oasis Springs lab. At 2 in the morning, though, Piper needed to go out for a bathroom break. So, leash and paw, she took Piper out for a little walk. But things quickly took a turn when Piper started drinking her own pee. Yeah, really. And Mentha got mad and scolded her on the spot. The next morning, Mentha made herself a grilled cheese sandwich, miraculously managing not to burn the house down. After filling her stomach, she hopped in the shower and finished getting ready for her very first day at work. Our very first task as a scientist? Brainstorming with the invention constructor. So Mentha and that floating robot eyeball put their heads, well, circuits and brain, together to try and invent something halfway useful. The result? The legendary momentum conserver, which, let's be honest, no one has ever truly understood. So Mentha did what any reasonable genius would do. Shoved it in her inventory and decided to save it for the fancy home lab she swears she's going to build one day. After finishing her brand new invention, Mentha started chatting with a few of her new co-workers to see if anyone was willing to give her a metal and a crystal. Luckily, she ran into this guy, with a very questionable outfit, who kindly gifted her a piece of baconite and some alabaster. Mentha, never one to miss an opportunity, milked that poor guy's kindness a little more and somehow walked away with a piece of cretunium, too. Hey, when you're trying to complete the elements collection, you need all the metals and crystals you can get, because apparently that's where the science magic happens. To wrap up her day, Mentha had to practice some analysis at the lab station. She clicked a few buttons, stared intensely at the screen like she knew what she was doing, and bam, her first scientific breakthrough. Eureka, baby! As soon as she got home, Mentha sent off the metals and crystals to the Geo Council, who usually mail the elements back a few hours later. Because, you know, science by snail mail. Right after that, little Piper came over to say hi. So of course we gave her some well-deserved cuddles. Since she was still in the zone after getting home from work, I let our dear Mentha play a bit more chess to reach level 2 in her logic skill, and hopefully make a second breakthrough that would guarantee her a promotion the next day. While she was in the middle of her chess session, Mentha spotted a young scout walking by outside the window and thought, what better opportunity to ruin someone's day? So off she went to stir up trouble, spreading fake news, inviting her to a party that didn't exist, and just generally making fun of her. Unsurprisingly, the poor, innocent scout did not take it well. But hey, by successfully becoming disliked, we managed to complete the first level of our aspiration. Win-win? Sort of. Once she got home, Mentha was so furious she went and did an angry poop, and after successfully clogging the toilet, she jumped right back into trolling the forums, reaching level 3 in the mischief skill. That is, until we unexpectedly got an invitation to a party. Wait, could it be that someone out there still likes Mentha? Anyway, she threw on her best outfit and headed straight to the dance floor, wasting no time before roasting every guest in sight. Of course, not before grabbing her favorite cocktail. Because what better way to forget you have work at 10 a.m. the next morning and that you're probably not going to get even 10 minutes of sleep? After making a few more enemies around the party, Mentha ended up getting challenged to a dance-off by some girl. And, well, let's be honest, the challenger totally won. Not one to back down, Mentha still busted out a few solo moves of her own before leaving the party at 6 a.m., completely wiped out and fully aware she was heading home to maybe 3 hours of sleep. If she was lucky. After a super short nap, it was already time to head back to work. Luckily, the day's tasks included eating something and taking a shower. Like, seriously, imagine getting paid to eat and wash up. If only real life worked that way. Anyway, after grabbing a quick veggie toast, Mentha had a little chat with the floating robot eye and jumped into a brainstorming session to start planning her next invention. Another one of our goals was to socialize with our coworkers and try asking them for metals and crystals. Too bad one of them ended up getting smacked in the face by a locker door. Ouch. After that, we were asked to analyze a crystal at the analyzer and synthesize the food serum. Only catch? We needed at least one plant for it. So, using the lab's tiny little garden, we gathered what we needed and whipped up the serum, which of course they wanted us to taste. And even though it didn't exactly look appetizing, Mentha drank it, apparently with no side effects. At least, for now. Just before wrapping up our work shift, we got an important phone call. An invitation to join the Renegades Club. And of course, we said yes. But that's not all. We also got our very first promotion at work, earning some extra cash and a fabulous new lab coat that Mentha can't wait to show off in her future home lab. After a long, refreshing nap, Mentha immediately turned her attention to our dear Piper, who she hadn't seen all day. She showered her with love and snuggles, then sent her out to do her business, which, of course, she decided to do right on the front steps. Classic Piper. Later that evening, our girl finally got some mail back from the Geo Council, and inside were our very first 3 elements to add to the collection. Ozonite, Volanton, and Celium have officially been placed in the element display, which Mentha proudly set up in her bedroom right next to the bed. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you did. And I'll see you in the next episode of the Not So Berry Challenge.